Good evening, everybody. Today I will explain Mahasatipatthana Sutta. This sutta is very famous and very profound. It was expounded by the Buddha when he was residing in a town named Kamasadhamma in the Kuru country. Even though this sutta is very profound, why did the Buddha expound it in the Kuru country? It is because the Kuru country was blessed with a green river climate and other comfortable conditions, such as good food, good drink, which are essential for maintaining mind and body. So the people from this country were always healthy in body and mind, and they had the power of wisdom, so they are capable of receiving deep teachings. That's why the Buddha taught them Mahasatipatthana Sutta. And then moreover, this country had the 4 classes of Buddha disciples, such as bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, layman, laywoman. They apply mindfulness in their daily life. Even servant and worker spoke about mindfulness practice. And then Buddha addressed bhikkhu. That means Buddha called the bhikkhu. And the bhikkhu replied, Venerable Sir, here bhikkhu means anybody who accept and follow the teachings of the Buddha can be called bhikkhu in Pali. So when the bhikkhu said the Buddha said the bhikkhu, it must be understood that monks as well as nuns and lay people. Then the Buddha said this, bhikkhu, this is the only way for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the reaching of the noble path, and for the realization of Nibbana. This is only one way. This is the 4 foundations of the mindfulness. Here only one way, the word only one way. To understand this explanation, we should know the Pali word. Pali word, the only way, in Pali it is used as ekayana. It is divided into 2, eka and ayana. Eka means one, ayana means way. So ekayana means one way or only way. That means there is no only way to reach Nibbana. Satipatthana or mindfulness way is the only way to attain Nibbana. And then Buddha said the purification of being. That means the purification of minds of all beings. The mind or all beings are tended by different defilements. So most of the time our mind are not pure by defilements. Defilements are such as attachment, hatred, ignorance, delusion, pride, envy, jealousy, and so on. When we practice Satipatthana, we don't have greed, hatred, or delusion, or pride, or other defilements. All these defilements are absent from our mind during the meditation. So by practicing Satipatthana, our mind will become pure. And then next one is overcoming all sorrow and lamentation. That means sorrow and lamentation can be overcome by Satipatthana meditation. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, when we reach the final stage, Arhathood, we will have overcome sorrow and lamentation together. After you have reached such a stage, sorrow and lamentation will never come to you again. And then next one is the disappearance of pain and grief. Here pain means physical pain, grief means mental pain. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, when you have reached the highest Nibbana, you will have the disappearance of physical pain and mental pain. Next one is the reaching of the noble path. The noble path here means a type of consciousness that appears at the moment of realization of Nibbana. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, when the meditator reaches the noble path, there arise in them a type of consciousness that is called path consciousness, Megacita. There are 4 stages of noble path. So there are 4 types of path consciousness or path Cheta, such as the Sotapatti Megacita, Sakadagami Megacita, Anagami Megacita, Arhata Megacita. After reaching the 4th path consciousness, Arhata Megacita, all the mandatory 5 marks altogether eradicated. That's why Satipatthana is the only way for the attainment of the 4 noble truths. The last one is Buddha saying, by practicing Satipatthana meditation, we can realize the Nibbana. So, the realization of Nibbana. What is realization of Nibbana? That means reaching the stages of fruition consciousness. Here we have to understand, reaching the noble path means reaching the stage of path consciousness, Megacita. The realization of Nibbana means reaching the stage of fruition consciousness, Phalacita. According to the knowledge of Abhidhamma, immediately after path consciousness, fruition consciousness arise. Then the both of path consciousness and fruition consciousness take Nibbana as the object. So the both consciousness perceive Nibbana directly. Either of these 2 moments can be called moment of realization of the Nibbana. That's why in brief, the Buddha said that this is only one way to purify the mind, to overcome sorrow and lamentation, to disappearance of pain and grief, to reaching of the noble path, to realization of Nibbana. And what is the only way? The only way is none other thing than the way of the full foundation of the mindfulness. So I already explained in the Mahastipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said, the bhikkhu, this is only one way for the purification of the beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the reaching of the noble path, and for the realization of Nibbana. This only way is full foundation of mindfulness. No? I explain one by one already. And then the Pali word Satipatthana. What is Satipatthana? Satipatthana is made out of Sati and Patthana. Sati means mindfulness or remembering. Patthana means something that proceeds having gone down into the object and then having entered into the object or having spread over the object. Therefore, Satipatthana means sati, mindfulness or remembering that have go down into the object, mindfulness that have entered the object, mindfulness that has spread over the object. That's why the characteristic of sati is not floating on the surface, must go deep into the object. It must enter into the object and it must spread all over the object. Therefore, the 4 foundations of mindfulness are 4 in relation to the object of mindfulness, namely the body, kaya, the feeling, vedana, consciousness, citta, and dhamma, object, dhamma. That means the object of mindfulness are kaya, vedana, citta, dhamma. And then, regarding us meditation subject, 4 types of contemplating anupassana. So, number 1, contemplation of the body, kaya anupassana. Number 2, contemplation of the feeling, vedana anupassana. Contemplation of the mind, citta anupassana. Number 4, contemplation of the Dhamma object, Dhammanupassana. So we can understand the four foundation of mindfulness as a object. The object of mindfulness are Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma. As the meditation subject, these are contemplation of the body, contemplation of the feeling, contemplation of the mind, contemplation of the Dhamma object. So this can get the both sides. No? Meditation object also we can call, meditation subject also we can call. So when we practice contemplation of the body, we have to mindfulness have to remembering or to the materiality. No? This is called body. Body is called materiality. When we practice contemplation of the feeling, the mindfulness have to knowing or remembering to the feeling. When we practice contemplation of the citta, the mindfulness have to always know that what our mind happened, which kind of citta. And then contemplation of the Dhamma, we have to understand all kind of the, according to this explanation, and we have to understand all the five aggregate. And then, according to meditation of subject, in the contemplation of the body, the meditator can practice 14 ways, such as, number 1 is anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. Number 2, Ariya Bhatta Baba, fourth posture, no? Walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. Number 3, Sampajana Baba, going forward, going backward, looking ahead, looking aside, etc. Number 4 is Patikula Manasikara Baba. This is, we have to practice 32 part of the body. Number 5 is the 9 kinds of Asubha. No? So altogether, 14 kinds of meditation subject. So when we practice Anapana meditation, this is, we are contemplation of the body. We are practicing contemplation of the body. And then when we practice full posture, this is called including in contemplation of the body. If we practice 32 part the body also, we are practicing contemplation of the body. In the same way, when we practicing Asubha, 9 kinds of Asubha, this is, we are practicing contemplation of the body in the body.
Sally, before the particular, before Asubha is particular?
Particular Manasikara.
Particular Manasikara Papa.
We have to practice 32 part the body. First, we have to see as an organ. Yes. Our body and other body as only 32 part the body. After that, each organ we have to practice as a repulsiveness. Repulsiveness in Pali called particular. So we have to reflect. Head is repulsiveness, particular, etc. No?
Yes. You say 40 ways or 14?
14, altogether 14. First, one is
4.
1 4, yeah.
Okay.
1 Anapana, okay. Yes. 2 is 4 Pocha, Ariya Bhatta. Number 3 is the Sampajana Papa. And then number 4 is
Particular
Manasikara. And then 9 kinds of Asubha.
Yes.
So altogether 14.
Ya, jadi berikutnya adalah ketika kita mempraktekkan meditasi perenungan terhadap badan jasmani, maka di sini meditator bisa mempraktekannya.
I remain 4 element meditation.
Yes.
After particular manasikara, number 5 is 4 element meditation. 4 element. Dhatu manasikara papa.
Oh yes. Okay.
Sorry, no.
Going back, going forward, sampajanya Sally.
Sorry,
sampajanya.
Which one?
The third one, sampajanya.
Sampajana papa.
Sampajana, yeah. Yes. That is the explanation is?
Yes, going to forward
and
backward, and then looking ahead, looking aside, etc.
Oh yeah.
So when we practice contemplation of the body, we have to practice 14 kinds of meditation subject. So how to practice these 14 kinds, later I will explain one by one in detail. So just now you just understand in the contemplation of body, we have to practice 40 kinds of meditation subject. And in the contemplation of the feeling, the meditator has to reflect 9 kinds of feeling, such as sukha vedana, happy feeling, and then painful feeling, dukkha vedana, and then neither painful or happy feeling, adukama sukha vedana, and then altogether 9 kinds. So I will explain this in Pali. Number 1 is sukha vedana. Number 2 is dukkha vedana. Number 3 is adukama sukha vedana. Number 4, samisamva sukha vedana. That means that the sukha vedana relation is sensual desire or like this, no? And then number 5 is niramisamva sukha vedana. This vedana is not relation with sensual desire. Huh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, you understand? No? Sukha vedana is there. Number 1, sukha vedana, happy feeling. Dukkha vedana is painful feeling. Adukama sukha vedana is neither painful nor happy feeling. No? And number 4 is samisamva sukha vedana, means that the vedana associated with that sensual desire. No? Niramisamva sukha vedana means the vedana feeling not associated with the sensual desire. Number 6 is samisamva dukkha vedana. Dukkha vedana not associated with sensual desire. And then number 7, niramisamva dukkha vedana. That means dukkha vedana. First is dukkha vedana associated relation with the sensual desire. 7 is the niramisamva dukkha vedana, means dukkha vedana not associated with sensual desire. Number 8 is samisamva adukama sukha vedana. This adukama sukha vedana relation with the sensual desire. Number 9 is niramisamva adukama sukha vedana. That means adukama sukha vedana not relation with sensual desire. So altogether 9 kinds of vedana. So when we practice contemplation of the feeling, we have to understand these 9 kinds of feeling. Not only dukkha vedana. Some people practice painful. This is the vedana. This is practice vedana nupassana. Not only this, we have to understand all kinds of the vedana. This is the Buddha talk. Okay. And then in the contemplation of consciousness, the meditator has to practice 16 kinds of consciousness, no? Such as consciousness associated with attachment, consciousness associated with dissociated with attachment, consciousness associated with hatred, number 3, no? And then consciousness dissociated with the angry or hatred. And then number 5 is consciousness associated with delusion, consciousness associated with dissociated with delusion. So I chanting with Pali better, no?
Pali, yes.
Number 1 is Sarangava Jaitan, Saragan Jaitanti Pajanati. So this Saraga means raga, no? Raga means the attachment, no? So the Chaita associated with the raga. Number 2, Vita Ragan wa Jaitan, Vita Ragan Jaitanti Pajanati. So we have to understand the Chaita dissociated with the raga. Okay. Number 3 is Sadosan wa Jaitan, Sadosan Jaitanti Pajanati. That means the Chaita, the consciousness associated with the angry. And then number 4 is Vita dosan wa jaitan, Vita dosan jaitanti pajanati. That means the chaita or consciousness dissociated with dosa. No? And then number 5 is Samohanwa jaitan, Samohan jaitanti pajanati. That means the chaita associated with moha. Okay, number 7, number 6, no? Vita mohan was jaitan, Vita mohan jaitanti pajanati. That means the consciousness dissociated with delusion or moha. Okay, number 7 is Sankheta wa jaitan, Sankheta jaitanti pajanati. That means Sa Sankarika Jita. No? Okay. Number 8 is Vita Vikaitan wa jaitan, Vikaitan jaitanti pajanati. That means Oticha Sahagata Jita. Okay. And then number 9. Okay. Can you follow? Number 9 is Mahagatan wa jaitan, Mahagatan jaitanti pajanati. This is Mahagota Jita, no? Rupa, Mahagota Jita means Rupa Jita or Arupa Jita, no? And then number 10 is, that means Rupa Jana Jita and Arupa Jana Jita, right? And number 10 is Amahagatan wa Jita, Amahagatan Jitanti Pajanati. That means the Jita not associated with Rupa Jita and Arupa Jita. Number 11 is Saotaran wa jaitan, Saotaran jaitanti pajanati. This also the same Rupa Jita and Arupa Jita, Nuva Jita. And then number 12 is Anotaran wa jaitan, Anotaran jaitanti pajanati. Number 12 is the Kama Vajra Jita, not Mahagata Jita, no? And then number 13 is Samahitan wa jaitan, Samahitan jaitanti pajanati. So the meditator have to understand Samadhi is how many kind of Samadhi? Upachara Samadhi, Apana Samadhi, no? So we have to understand these two kinds of Samadhi. Apana Samadhi have 2 kinds, no? Rupa Jita and Rupa Jana and Arupa Jana. So Upachara Samadhi, Upachara Samadhi, Rupa Jana Samadhi, Arupa Jana Samadhi. No? Number 14 is Asamahitan wa jaitan, Asamahitan jaitanti pajanati. This also Kama Vajra Jita, no? Not relation with the Jana Jita. And then number 15 is Vimutan wa jaitan, Vimutan jaitanti pajanati. That means the Jita free from defilement. And then number 16, the last one is Avimotan wa jaitan, Avimotan jaitanti pajanati. So the meditator had to clearly understand this Jita not yet free from the defilement. So altogether 16 kind of the Jita. So when we practice contemplation of the mind, so not only we knowing mind, this is not only we have to practice, we have to clearly understand 16 kinds of the consciousness. No? Okay?
I'm sorry, the 11th one, Sally?
11 is Saotaran wa jaitan.
Saotaran.
And then in the contemplation of the Dhamma, the Buddha taught 5 kinds, such as 5 hindrances, Nivarana Papa. Number 2, 5 clinking aggregate, Khanda Papa. Number 3, 12 bases, Ayatana Papa. Number 4, 7 enlightenment fetters, Bojinga Papa. Number 5, 4 noble truth, Sija Papa. So, yeah, altogether 5 kinds of practice, no? 5 ways we have to practice. If we practice contemplation of the Dhamma, we have to practice these 5 kinds of meditation subject. So if we want to practice 4 foundation of mindfulness, we have to practice 21 meditation subject altogether. If we practice contemplation of the body, we have to practice all these kind. And then contemplation of the feeling, we have to understand all the 9 kinds of the feeling. Only one feeling is not enough to attain Nibbana. And then when we practice contemplation of the citta, we have to understand this kind of all the citta we have to understand. Okay? And then contemplation of Dhamma, we summarize, is the actually 5 aggregate. In various kind, we have to practice 5 aggregate in various ways. Okay? So 4 foundation of mindfulness is only one way. So this is I will explain again. 4 foundation of mindfulness as only one way means it is said that regarding remembering and meeting in one thing is the Nibbana. For example, to a city with the 4 gates, the man coming from the east gate to a city, the man coming from the west gate to a city, the man coming from the north gate to a city, the man coming from the south gate to a city. Nibbana is like the city. Body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma object are like the 4 directions. So, those who enter the Nibbana by contemplating of the body, practice in 14 ways are like the people coming from the east gate. And then, those who enter Nibbana by contemplation of the feeling, practice in 9 ways are like the people coming from the south gate. Those who enter Nibbana by contemplation of the consciousness, practice in 16 ways are like the people coming from the west gate. Those who enter Nibbana by contemplation of the Dhamma object, practice in 5 ways are like the people coming from north gate. So, therefore, we think we can attain Nibbana from only one gate or only any gate. No? So, most of the people think only one gate we go, we can attain Nibbana. Later I will explain, okay? So, just now I already explained. Most of the people think Nibbana can attain from only one gate or any gate, okay? But in the Samyutta Nikaya, there are 2 Aprijanana Sutta. In those sutta, the Buddha say, Bhikkhu, if you don't know all the materiality and mentality with the 3 types of the full understanding prajna, you cannot escape from suffering. So here, 3 types of prajna mean 3 types of prajna are: number 1, full understanding as known, jnata prajna. Number 2, full understanding as investigating, tirana prajna. Full understanding as abandoning, pahana prajna. So I will continue explain. Full understanding as known, jnata prajna consists of the knowledge of analysis of materiality and mentality. This is called Namarupa Pratcheda Jnana. And the knowledge of descending cause and effect. This is called Piccayaprika Jnana. That means, according to the Jnata Prajna, we have to know Nama and Rupa and their causes. And then these 2 types of Vipassana knowledge can attain by the beginning of Vipassana practice, by understanding, by analyzing materiality and mentality and their causes. So that means, according to Jnata Prajna, we have to understand all the Nama and Rupa. And not only Nama Rupa, but also their causes also we have to understand. And then second one is full understanding as investigating Tirana Prajna. Tirana Prajna consists of the knowledge of comprehension, samasana jnana. This is actually the Namarupa Pratcheda Jnana and Piccayaprika Jnana is the preparation of the Vipassana. Nama and Rupa and their causes is the object of Vipassana meditation. We cannot call real Vipassana knowledge the preparation of the Vipassana knowledge. So the real vipassana is step from samasana jnana. After that, udyabhya jnana. We have to practice again and again. Samasana jnana and udyabhya jnana. So these two knowledge are called tirana prajna. These two types of these two types of vipassana knowledge and these two types of vipassana knowledge attained by practicing vipassana meditation, the arising and perishing of nama, rupa, and their causes as impermanence, suffering, and namesake. So we have to understand, before tirana prajna, we have to thoroughly understand nama and rupa by jnata prajna. Because they are the object of vipassana. Tirana prajna is vipassana, real vipassana stage, samasana jnana and udyabhya jnana stage. Okay, number 3 is full understanding as without knowing, without jnata prajna, tirana prajna will not arise. No? This is we have to understand. Number 3 one is full understanding as abandoning pahana prajna. Pahana prajna consists of the higher knowledge, the knowledge of dissolution, no? Pinga jnana to the part knowledge, mega jnana. At this knowledge stage, at the knowledge of dissolution, the defilement can eradicate temporarily. At the stage of the part knowledge, the defilement can eradicate completely. To eradicate the defilement, to arise this knowledge, we have to practice samasana jnana and udyabhya jnana systematically. So if we practice again and again, when we vipassana knowledge become mature, the knowledge change to pinga jnana, paya jnana, step by step, until we can, after that we can attain the mega jnana. So after mega jnana, we can eradicate the defilement. So to arise pahana prajna, so tirana prajna is the cause to arise pahana prajna. In the same way, tirana prajna, jnata prajna is the cause to arise tirana prajna. So those inside knowledge are called. So because of these two, because of if you see these three inside knowledge or jnata prajna, these 3 kinds of prajna, no? We have to understand all the nama rupa and then their causes, no? So that means we not enough to contemplate, no? Only contemplation of the body, only contemplation of the feeling, only contemplation of the citta, we not enough to attain nibbana. According to these two Abhijnana Sutta, we want to realize nibbana, we have to contemplate 5 aggregate of materiality, mentality, and their causes as impermanence, suffering, and namesake. So just now, this is in the sutta explained is nibbana is as the gate, as the city, no? From the east gate or west gate or north gate or south gate. This is contemplation of the body, contemplation of the feeling, contemplation of the consciousness, contemplation of Dhamma. So most of the people misunderstand. We just practice contemplation of body. Just body means materiality. Only materiality we practice, we will attain nibbana. And then we will think, most of the people think, only we practice the feeling vedana. By only practice vedana, we will attain nibbana. Actually, not like this. No? Later, I will explain one by one. And then these 2 sutta also, the Buddha taught, no? Abhijnana Sutta also explain. We have to understand all the materiality and matter, not only one, no? Not only materiality, not only rupa, not only nama. We have to know nama and rupa. Not only nama rupa, we have to understand their causes also. After we understand nama rupa and their causes, we have to practice vipassana. After vipassana, this is, first we understand nama rupa and their causes is called jnata prajna. Okay? Nama rupa prijita jnana and prijabrika jnana are called jnata prajna. After that, after we understand Nama Rupa and their causes, we have to practice Vipassana with the Samasana Jnana and Udyabhya Jnana. This is called Tirana Prajna. We practice Vipassana again and again. So after Tirana Prajna, Vipassana knowledge become mature. Then knowledge change to Pinga Jnana, Bhaya Jnana, Adivanya, Adinawana, Mosetu Kamyata Jnana, Sinkarupaka Jnana, etc. No? Until Noble Path, no? Until Mega Jnana. This jnana is called, all the inside knowledge are called Pahana Prajna. With the Pahana Prajna, since from Pinga Jnana, we can temporarily eradicate the defilement. At the stage of Mega Jnana, we can eradicate completely the defilement. So, according to this sutta, we not enough only practice feeling. Not only enough, only practice feeling is not enough to attain Nibbana. Only practice body, kaya, materiality, not enough to attain Nibbana. Only practice citta, not enough to attain Nibbana. So we should understand. Huh? Okay? So I short time explain. You will not understand. So I have to explain all. Sorry.
I just to make sure the name of the sutta you mentioned.
Aparijanana Sutta.
Aparijanana Sutta.
I will explain. There are three kinds of prajna.
Yes.
Prajna definition is full understanding.
Full understanding.
Yes.
Right?
Jnata prajna is full understanding as known. Jnata means know. Known. K-N-O-W-N. Full understanding as known is Jnata prajna. Tirana prajna is full understanding. This is full understanding prajna, no? Investigating. Investigating on three characteristics. This is called Tirana prajna. At the Tirana prajna stage, so just now I already explained, two inside knowledge include Samasana Jnana and Udyabhya Jnana. And then number third prajna is there. Full understanding and abandoning. Pahana means abandon. So, Pahana prajna. Okay? Altogether, three prajna.
Yes.
Okay. So, already explained, according to Aparijanana Sutta, Pahana prajna is called, the Riya Pahana prajna is called Mega Jnana. No? The Pinga Jnana is, we call, interacting, no? Because of Pinga Jnana stage also can eradicate the defilement, but at the stage of the Mega Jnana and Phala Jnana, no? We totally can eradicate defilement. After that, we attain Arahata Mega Jnana at the time, we can attain Nibbana. So to attain Nibbana, we have to understand materiality and mentality. We have to thoroughly understand. So just practice Vedana, just practice Rupa, just practice Sinya, not enough to attain Nibbana. So to attain Nibbana, we have to, all the Nama and Rupa and their causes, we have to contemplate. Okay? And then moreover, in the commentaries, the commentary is the Athasalani, the commentary, and then Visuddhimagga commentary also mentioned, by contemplating only materiality or by contemplating only mentality, one cannot realize Nibbana. So we must sometimes contemplate materiality. Sometimes we must contemplate mentality. Then we contemplate, and also we contemplate Nama Rupa in only our body. No? We practice, that means we practice Vipassana, or we practice Nama Rupa, practice in our body also, not enough to attain, not enough to realize Nibbana. And then so we have to contemplate Nama and Rupa in other body also. That means we have to practice Vipassana in not only our body, but also other body also. Okay? That means sometimes we practice our body as Nama and Rupa, rising, passing away. Just practice our body, not enough to attain Nibbana. Sometimes we are stay attachment to other body. So we have to practice Vipassana on other body also. Because of this, sometimes we have to practice Vipassana on only Rupa not only rupa, not enough. Sometimes we have to practice nama also, impermanent suffering and namsa. In the same way, we practice nama rupa in our body, not enough other body. So sometimes we should practice vipassana in our body as nama rupa. These are rising, passing, impermanent suffering, namsa. Other body also, we are attachment or we are angry to, we are jealousy to other people. We should practice this. Their body also nama rupa. Their body nama rupa are arising and passing with their body nama rupa also impermanent suffering namsa. We should practice alternatively. In this way, we can attain nibbana. Okay. So that's why we have to understand. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the Buddha taught, contemplation of the body, we must emphasize materially. Emphasize on materiality in the contemplation of the body. However, contemplating materiality alone is not enough to realize Nibbana. So we must contemplate mentality such as feeling, perception, consciousness, etc. And then, in the same way, in the contemplation of the feeling, Buddha emphasized talking that feeling. The feeling is a kind of mentality, it is Cetasika. However, contemplating feeling alone is not enough to attain Nibbana. Cetasika also cannot happen alone, cannot arise alone, together with Citta and other Cetasika. They arise together, cease together. We cannot only practice feeling, not enough. But we have to emphasize to feeling. So we have to contemplate materiality and other mentalities such as not only feeling, but also consciousness, Citta and other Cetasika. We have to practice vipassana meditation. In the same way, in the contemplating of the mind, the Buddha emphasized to mind or Citta. However, contemplating the mind alone also not enough to realize Nibbana. So we must contemplate materiality and other mentality or Cetasika also. So in the contemplation of the Dhamma object, the Buddha taught to contemplate five aggregate in various ways. So we should not misunderstand that by practicing one of the four foundations of mindfulness is enough for you to realize Nibbana. That means when we practice four foundations of mindfulness, we have to practice vipassana on five aggregate for the realization of the Nibbana. Okay? Any question?
The question is how we contemplating other people's body. So do we have to know the person personally, or we don't have to know the person personally?
We have to know as a nama rupa. You have to broken down the body as nama rupa. You have to understand this is rupa, this is nama, this is. You have to penetrate arising and passing away of them as nama rupa, as anicca, dukkha, anatta. So we have to contemplate. Okay, I will continue explain. Actually, Mahasatipatthana practice is very profound. People practice four foundation of mindfulness, either kaya nupassana or vedana nupassana or citta nupassana. You have to already see nama rupa, materiality rupa. You have to already see. You have to learn from teacher how to see the rupa anti-pramata stage, how to see the vedana anti-pramata stage, how to see the citta. You have to analyze citta, cetasika, and all the pramata nama also. After you see, you have to contemplate with the mindfulness. Actually, before practice Satipatthana meditation, immediately practice, we cannot. We have to do preparation. How to discern rupa, how to discern the nama. Because of this, last time, previous Dhammado, I explained how to see the pramata rupa. But how to see pramata nama, I not yet explained because of the Sayadaw asked me to teach Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Actually, Mahasatipatthana Sutta is very profound. Without seeing Nama Rupa, we cannot how to mindful in Rupa. We not yet see Rupa. We not yet see the feeling. We not yet see the citta. Many kinds of citta. Feeling also not painful. Many feeling we have to understand. So, how to contemplate is, before you contemplate, you have to try to discern the Rupa, try to discern the Nama. To see Nama Rupa, concentration. No? First is concentration. You have concentration, you easy to see Nama Rupa. Okay? Any question? No question. No question, we stop here. Okay?
Tidak ada pertanyaan lagi?
Okay, no?
Yeah. Here one cell.
Okay.
The question is on Asubha meditation. So how to ask someone to practice the Asubha meditation, but that person is very afraid, very scared of the object of Asubha. So how to convince him to practice Asubha?
There are two kinds of Asubha. No? Savinyanaka Asubha, that means a light body, like that we can practice skeleton or 32 Pada body. No? You can practice other body and your body as the Asubha. Sometimes we attachment to our body, so we can practice our body as the skeleton, our body as the repulsiveness, or at the skeleton as repulsiveness, and then our body have 32 Pada body. No? I mean the 32 body, urine or feces or something. So we can practice not to attach to our body. In the same way, we attach someone, other body, we can practice. This is Savinyanaka Asubha. We practice Asubha like body, other body as 32 Pada body. That person as the skeleton. Skeleton is the repulsiveness in their body. In this person body have head hair, body hair, nail. So you separate group by group, no? And then urine, feces, swell, tear, all are repulsiveness. So if you reflect, you will not attach to other body. This is Savinyanaka Asubha. As is Avinyanaka Asubha, sometimes we reflect. We already see the dead body. We try to remember this dead body, and then we reflect that body day by day changing, no? And this skeleton, this is called 9 kinds of the Asubha. So we reflect one day we also have to die, and that body is Asubha, we can reflect. Anyone he can practice a light body or dead body. If he don't want to practice dead body, he should practice a light body. But dead body also we have to reflect. After we see other dead body, we have to reflect ourselves. One day we also have to die like this. So like the Marananosati, become Marananosati. Okay? Avinyanaka Asubha is the dead body, no?
Yes.
Savinyanaka Asubha is a light body.
Yes.
Okay.